be running to and fro with the Allah higher. My I.S.U.P.K soldiers ain't no folding or pretending. We in it for them crowns, fuck friends, we want dominion. In the election ascension, I hope I make it through. Give a damn what a bitch think, as long as my niggas know I'm true. Restrain your kind to get success. You make it through the eye of the needle, nigga. I'll be as life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. And could you tell me about this hard that you feel so much? And why you look so tough? It's real, I be walking with your makers. Boy, life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I and why you look so tough? It's real, I be walking with your makers. Boy, I can't be touched.
Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I can't fight the cops and the ops. 30 blocks, every on the block. While the crack tucked in the sock. Instead of the ones I love, we was on the block for the grub. If you from my side, then it's love. Wanted big knots, busting out the jeans, but we was hurting on the fiends. Without that crack, he was just like me. Dirty nigga from the concrete, but the white man dealt his hand. So we eating up the trash can. People ride by, don't extend a hand, cause to them, it's an average black man. So for him, that's why I gotta make it. I ain't talking rap. Before the slave ships, I'm one of a kind. Y'all can't take it. I can never leave my spot vacant, cause I'm black. I see crowns and I take it, cause I'm black. I never been in no spaceship, but I know a UFO when I see it. I know that it's gonna come when I need it. I put faith in God more than Bible reading. Go don't play that shit and trust him when you see him. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Learn to flip pennies cause I'm black. Know about semis cause I'm black. Yeah, in the hood we was strapped 10 toes down. We wearing sacks. Substitute Israelite with black. And you gotta guess where I'm at. I be with the priest chilling hard. Right on Malcolm X Boulevard. To you niggas, see me with stars. Everything about my life is hard. But I'm never fold, play my cards. You want beef? What's the cause? Watch your mouth. I hit hard. Back up for your new guards. Everything you say, mad pause. If you move, I make is within them laws. And I've been the boss, cause it's beneficial. Ask the enemy, I've been official. If not for weed, I've been the official. Homie, I understand why you smoke. Been depressed since slave boats. But the Bible is the cheat code. Thought blunts don't need those. Brotherhood is life's cheat code. Like cops won't kill me cause I'm black. Ops won't drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops won't kill me cause I'm black. Ops won't drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. I don't gotta buy J's cause I'm black. I don't pay 2K just cause I'm black. Fuck my whole life cause I'm black. But I left his eye blue and black. Ain't got a trap cause I'm black. Ain't got not one face tat. But I'm still getting profile, cause I pick these crackers profile. Scruffy there with the dark skin, baggy sweats with the butter Timbs. So they know they can't butter him, so they rather jib sound muscle him. If you touching him, ain't you come for him, cause I'm a law keeper, a peace bringer, no tranquility, a peace bringer. Deuce to the street sweeper, covers flip up these types of shit. But guns I would die in the icy wrist, that shows on my chest ain't for blocking shit. Touch me and won't when you blocking shit, cause I'm black, you think I gotta cock the fifth. Well, that's a stereotype, that's accurate, cause crackers laying niggas in these cold streets and then tell my brother he got a beat for me. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black, ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She won't fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic, so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jew, so I'm black. So I'm black.
All right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatham to all the brothers. And we say Yahweh Shema Alatham, Hashem Yahshua to all the sisters. We are the I.S.U.P.K, which was started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. This Friday's night Lashawan Kodash class, which is known as the Holy Tongue or the Ancient Tongue. This is the Hebrew class for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Every Friday night in the school of I.S.U.P.K, we're teaching the Lashawan Kodash, teaching the Hebrew to our brothers and sisters. All right. So we're going to get into it. What's going on, Brock? Y'all about Shema Shabrakatha. The water for tuning in. God. We got the sign-in links in the chat for everybody tuned in online. All right. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. The sign-in sheet is in the comments. And before you end the class, make sure you hit those sign-out links. All right. Hit those sign-in links if you want to join the school. All right. So with that, we're going to get started. We're going to start off getting into, like we do every class, we're going to go over the alphabet in the Hebrew. All right. Some of the basics to the Hebrew is everything is written right to left. All right. And I'll also put the Assyrian up just beneath it. All right. This is known as the Assyrian Hebrew or the modern Hebrew. All right. So we got A, Ba, Ga. And what I'm doing is on the top, we got our Hebrew, the language that we speak, also known as the Lashawan Kodash, or the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew. That's the language that we're learning. And the modern Hebrew is good to know. It's good to know to be able to read because a lot of our manuscripts are written in this Hebrew. All right. So we got Abba, Ga, Da, Ha, Salaki, Ha, Wa, Za. We got a Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, and Na. All right. This is the first part of our alphabet. Right. Again, so on the top, we have the Hebrew, the Lashawan Kodash, and just below it, we have the Assyrian. Right. You'll notice when we get in the Assyrian, for example, the Ka, the Ma, and the Na, we got two different symbols for the Assyrian. Right. And what this is that second symbol that you see. Anytime that you see this character at the end of a word, you would put these characters. All right. It's very important to know, very important not to mix up. All right. When learning the alphabet in any language, it's important to learn it. That way you can begin to read and write the language. All right. So what we got up here, we got A. This is how you pronounce each of these characters. A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na. All right. That's the first part of the alphabet. And then we'll finish up below it. We got a Na, sir. Salakia, let me get a new marker. This one's dying on me. Yeah, bear with me one second. If you already know the alphabet, go ahead and practice writing it down on your own, just to get some more practice writing it. All right? Be back in 1 minute, just grabbing a new marker.
First breath I took, a life too surreal. Second breath I took was the pivot and strike, finish the kill. Influenced by might, with every sentence reveal. I won't pay back, fuck a dollar bill. Remain calm as the pressure build. Gotta endure until I let this pump whistle at my foes in memory of Emmett Till. I only live to do my master's will. I.S.U.P.K, motherfucker. Ain't no cowards on this battlefield. Gone astray but made greater. In my return, left to my mistakes. Every error was a lesson learned. Now I don't rule, let's it get approved. Won't take a step till it get confirmed. Armed and take what was made for our sakes. March like a tank. One step will make the ground shake. My people sick in their head, Lord, let this truth spread like an outbreak. Bring hell at them crackers can't escape. No.
All right, Salakia. So we're going to finish up the last part of the alphabet. We got a Sa up next. Sa, I, Pa, to Za, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right. So for the Sa in the Assyrian, it's like that. We got an I, Pa. Pa is another character in the Assyrian where it has two. And same with Tazah. All right, there's 5 characters in total in the Assyrian that has 2 different symbols for it, 2 different characters. So that's Tazah. We got a Kwa, a Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right. So there's our whole alphabet for the Hebrew. We got 22 characters in total. Right? We'll say it one more time from the top. We got A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na. We got a Sa, I, Pa, Tazah, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and a Tha. All right. And there's our 22 characters of the Hebrew. right, we're going to do one more review before we get into today's topic. All right, we're going to go over our possessives, our preposition and possessive words. All right. Now, the reason we go over these, I do a lot of review on this, because these are very important to know, to remember, so that we can begin to form sentences. All right? These words help us identify what it is we're reading. All right? So going over prepositions first, I'm going to write down every preposition that we have. All right? We got aba, da, hawa, ya, kala, ma, we got a sha and a tha. All right? And so preposition being before a word. All right? Anytime you see one of these characters, here at the beginning of a word, this is what it means in English. All right? You see a ah, it means I or I am. All right? You got a ba, it means in. You see a da at the beginning of a word, it means do. If you see ha at the beginning of a word, it means the. Wa is and. Ya is it or he. We have a ka, which is as or like. La is to or for. Ma is of or from. Sha is whom. Which or pertaining to. And last, we have a tha, which is thou or thee. All right? Also meaning you. So I'll put up a quick example. We have this word shalom. All right, shalom means peace. This is just an example of how we can use a preposition. right? So again, we have ah, which means I or I am. Ba means in. Da is do. Ha is the. Wa means and. Ya is it or he. Ka is as or like. La means to or for. Ma means of or from. Sha is whom, which, or pertaining to. And tha means you. All right. If this is your first time going over these or seeing these, I suggest that you take these notes down here. All right. This is just a quick review, but I suggest you definitely take these notes down and you can go over these, practice these, right? And as you begin to read more sentences in the Hebrew, you're going to see these words all over in sentences. All right. These words help give context. They let you know who we're speaking about, what we're speaking about. All right. It's how we form sentences. Okay. It's how we identify what it is that we're speaking about. So an example on how to use a preposition. Prepositions always go before a word. All right. In the Hebrew, we go right to left. So if we're using this word shalom, which is peace, let's say we wanted to say, let's say, let's say we wanted to use the word he, right? Or we could use the word the, right? Let's say the, we would just put ha, right? We'd use the preposition ha before the word. And then we would write out shalom. And now what we would say, right? Ha shalom. Ha shalom would be the peace. All right. That's just an example. We just put the preposition before the word. And now as we're reading this word or reading it in a sentence, you would say the peace. Right? We could say Ya Shalom. All right? Right? So now this probably wouldn't be a complete sentence, right? You would have to have more words in the sentence to understand what it is you're talking about. So for example, if we were to add a wa at the end, right? Now we have a possessive, which we'll get through these words. These words you put that at the end of the word. So now we have Ya Shalamwa. All right? Ya Shalamwa. And that would be he, peace, he. All right? And when you have he and he, it's usually identifying what we would say in the English as them. Right? So these words here, they just help you identify what it is you're speaking about. All right? It helps you identify what the root words are speaking about. Speaking to, or who it belongs to. All right, we'll go over our possessives. We'll get these up. Again, very important to have in your notes. All right, and so now here are our possessives. We got ya, ka, wa, ha, no, wa, kam, kan, ma, and a na. All right. And these are all possessive, meaning all these characters, when you see them at the end of a word, this lets you know what it is it means. All right. And I'll give you an example as soon as I get these up. All right. So what we got up on the board right now, we got our possessives. Ya is my, ka is your or you, wa is he or his, ha is her, na wa is our, y'all is kam in the Hebrew, and then kan is y'all feminine or you all feminine, and then you have their masculine and feminine. Ma is the masculine part, and na is the feminine. Meaning if you're speaking to a group of women, you would say na at the end. If you were speaking to a group of men, and you were saying those men over there, those men, you would say ma. All right? Now, for instance, let's just say you're speaking to a group of men and women. All right? What would you do in that case? You would always use the masculine. All right? You would always use the masculine. In the Hebrew, everything in our culture is about rank and order. All right? And that order is that the man is above the woman. The man is more important, is ahead of the woman. So we always use the masculine first. All right? So now an example of how we would use a possessive word, right, is we could say, now we're going to put one of these at the end of this word. So we have again shalom, right? And you could put ya at the end, right? Shalom ya is now my peace. If you put ka, right? So first we use Yah, right? So Yah, we have Shalom Yah. That means my peace, right? If we wanted to change this character and put a ka, right? We would now say in the English, your. Okay, we would now say your peace. All right? And those are just some examples on how you would use those words, right? You could put the ha at the end. It would be her peace, right? Nawa would be our peace. All right? And so those are our possessives and our prepositions. Now tonight's topic, we're going to do something a little different from what we've been doing. And what we're going to do tonight is translate English into Hebrew. All right, we're going to translate English into Hebrew. Now, normally when I do a lesson on forming sentences, or when we're forming complete sentences, I like to go over prepositions and possessives because you're going to see these all in our sentences, right? You're going to see these all over before and after root words, all right? And so that's why I like to go over those just as a refresher, right? So get these in your notes. Make sure you practice them, right? Practice them, learn them, just like you would your alphabet, right? These are very important. And as you read Hebrew, you'll start to see these more. You'll start to see these all over in sentences, right? And just as you practice, right, you'll get better at speaking the language. All right. So again, tonight's topic, we're going to translate some sentences from the English to the Hebrew. All right. Most of the classes that we've been doing, we've been translating Hebrew to English. All right. Tonight, we're just going to switch it around. So this first sentence we're gonna translate. And Barak Ya Allah, if you could, Baba Kasha, help me to translate these sentences. All right. You've been doing a lot of studying. Very proud of you. All right. So I want to keep it up, keep pushing, keep practicing. All right. And we're going to keep building our kingdom. So what we're going to do, this first sentence we got, this first sentence is that we're going to translate is the kings of Israel. All right. Now, if I could, Baraka Allah, I think this will be some light work for you. So if you could, Baba Kasha, we got the kings of Israel. How would we translate this to Hebrew? All right. Starting off with the word the. How do we say the in Hebrew?
Huh?
God. So we have this word ha. And what ha is a preposition. All right. Which again is why we went over that just as a quick review. Because we see words like the in every sentence. The, and, he, her, you, there, you all, them, right? All these words we see all over in every sentence we read. So those prepositions and possessives are very important to know. All right? So we got the preposition ha. Do you know how to say king in Hebrew?
I think it's Malak.
Malak, Most High in Christ. And do you know how to spell that?
A Ma, Allah, and a Ka.
God, Most High in Christ. So we got ha Malak. What else do we got? So now we got of Israel. You know how to say Israel in the Hebrew?
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah, Most High in Christ. Right? Everybody in this school should know how to say this word in the Hebrew. We got Yasha. Oh, Salakia. We got Yashar Allah. All right. Which means Israel. So Salakia, do you think that's it for the sentence?
Salaka, before Yasharallah, there's a Ma or of.
So you're saying Ma is of. Khan?
Khan wa Khan.
Khan. So we got Ma. Yashar Allah. So Ma would be of Israel. So this sentence says, Slaki, can you see this sentence up here?
Khan wa Khan, the kings of Israel.
Khan, the kings of Israel. So now, do you think this is done?
Canada Wakan.
All right, we're missing one thing. All right? We're missing one thing. Just take a close look. Let's see how well you're studying. See if you can pick that up.
A ma at the end of Kings.
You said a ma?
Canada Wakan.
Nope, la.
I mean, yam
Yam. So what does yam mean?
is plural.
Yam is plural. All right. When you see yam, it means it's masculine plural. All right. Speaking about multiple kings. Right? So we got Ha Malakyam Ma Yasharala. All right. Now give that warrior a hand. All right. Now, when you're reading through sentences in the Hebrew, you might not see the word of. All right. How we speak in the English is a little different from the Hebrew. But taking out the word of in the Hebrew, you would still understand the sentence. All right. So we got Ha Malakyam Yasharala. Right? That means the kings of Israel. All right. When you're reading the Hebrew, the context of a sentence always lets you know what it is you're speaking about, right? If you didn't see the word of, you would still understand what that means, right? The kings Israel, right? That would just mean that there's many kings, or there's multiple kings with at least one man, right? A lot of men, right? Kings, plural, it's a masculine word. And it's just letting you know kings of Israel, right? Well, again, well done, warrior.
What I don't want.
All right, we're going to try another one. We got son of the king. All right, let's try to translate this one. So we got this first word up here is son. Do you know how to say son in the Hebrew?
Ban.
Ban. Khan. So we got ban. And then we have of the king. Go ahead and try to finish that for me. Just let me know what to put up on the board.
Ban Malak.
Ban
Malak.
Malak.
Ban Ha Malak.
Ban Ha-Malak. Is that what you said?
Kana Wakana.
Khan. Most High in Christ. Oh, Salakia. Ha-Malak. So we got son. And then we have the king. All right. And again, in the Hebrew, we don't need to put of. We understand what it is we're speaking about. All right. It's implied what it is we're speaking about. We got a son and we have the king. Right? If you're a king and you have a son, that's who we're speaking about. Right? We don't need to say of. We got son, the king. All right? And that would be the complete word, the complete sentence in the Hebrew. That's exactly how we would write it out. All right. So this next sentence that we're going to go through, all right. This next sentence is to the people of Israel. To the people of Israel. Okay, we're going to translate that into the English. I'm going to share my screen really quick. All right, so what this is a book that I.S.U.P.K recommends for brothers to study out of. All right, this is a book you can purchase. It's on Amazon right now. It's a book called Biblical Hebrew, a text and workbook. And some of these sentences that were translated into the Hebrew is out of this book. All right. Again, it's a good book to purchase. If you're trying to learn Hebrew, you're trying to learn your language. All right, this is what we're going through tonight. All right, so we're going to break this down. We're going to translate it into the Hebrew. Bracket, let's give this a shot. We got to the people. All right, let's take this one a little slow. How do you say to in the Hebrew?
La.
Khan. So we got a preposition. We got the preposition la. Then we have the, which is another preposition. And how do you say the in the Hebrew?
Ha.
Khan. So we got laha. And then what we have, which is good to identify anytime you're reading in the Hebrew, right? You always want to look for the root words. All right. We got two root words up here. We have the word people. We have the word Israel. All right. Brocky Allah, do you know how to say people in the Hebrew?
Pretty sure it's I'm.
I'm, Most High in Christ. I'm. We got an I and a ma. Right? And we connect those. And then we got of Israel. How do you say Israel in the Hebrew? One more time.
Yasharallah.
Yasharallah. Right? Yashar. Ah and Allah. Right? Right? That's how we would pronounce Yashar Allah. Right? A lot of brothers say it fast. We've been saying it so long. We say it all the time. Right? We say Yashar Allah. Right? But if you would break it down a little slower, you got Ya, Shar, the Shah and the Ra connect. And then the Ah and the La, we just pronounce it singular. Right? So we got La, which is two. We got the preposition Ha, which is the. And then I'm is people. Right? And again, we don't necessarily have to put of in there. We understand what it is we're speaking of, right? So we got to the people of Israel. All right, Most High in Christ. Well done, word. Right? We keep practicing this Hebrew. Right? We'll begin to be able to speak it no problem. Right? It's good to use these words daily, right? Speak it in your household. Speak it with your Akim, your brothers, your Akwatin, your sisters. All right? This is the language of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. To the people of Israel. La ha'aim yasharallah. La Ha'ain Yasharala. That's how you say that in the Hebrew. All right, this next sentence we got. We got in the way of Israel. In the way of Israel. All right, Barak Allah. How many root words do we have in here?
2.
Come. Right? Those root words would be Israel and way. All right? And then what we got here, we got our prepositions. Right? So how do we say the preposition in?
Ba.
Ba. Right? Ba is in. And then how do we say the?
Ha.
Ha. Right? Now, for example, right? We're about to say in the way. Again, I say you're going to see these prepositions all over. Right? Even to mine, just as I hear Baha, we say the Lord's Prayer, right? All the time. It's like, how do you say that? Baha Rataza. Right? They're saying in the earth. Right? We're going to see these prepositions all over. They're very important to get down. All right? Do you know how to say way in the Hebrew?
Darak.
The rock. Most High in Christ. Baha the rock. And then we got again Israel, right? Which is Yashar Allah. right? So this is how you would say the sentence. Bahadarak Yashar Allah. All right, so we got Ba, which is in. Ha is the. The rock is way. And we got Israel. Bahadarak Yasharallah. So now, Salakia Ak, is there an app that you're using to look up these words?
I'm using the Blue Letter Bible.
Come, Blue Letter Bible. Right? So for brothers and sisters who may be tuning in for the first time, Blue Letter Bible app is a very good app to use. Right? We use that a lot in our Hebrew classes. And it's a good way just to do word searches. Right? You can find words fast. An application that I'm using is called, it's actually called My Sword. And so, for example, if I wanted to look up the word way, let me see. So if I look up this word way, see if we can share my screen. It'll bring me to every verse that has the word way, right? We got Genesis 6 and 12, Genesis 6 and 3, Genesis 3 and verse 24, right? And we're able to look up the Strong's Concordance, right? So what I have for the word way is Strong's H1870, right? And we have the word darak, right? We have a da, a ra, and a ka. That's just a good way for brothers and sisters who are just learning, right? Get an interlinear Bible app, interlinear Bible, a lexicon, a concordance, right? That way you're able to look up words, right? A quick shout out to this chat. We got Jules Charms, Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shamar Alathon Bashim Yahushai. That means may Yahweh watch over you in the name of Christ. The water for tuning in, sis. Make sure you hit those sign-in links. Make sure you sign up before the class is done. All right. So again, we just translated this from English to Hebrew. The sentence is in the way of Israel. Right. We got our root words. We got way and we got Israel. And then we got our prepositions. Right? And this is how we'd see it when we're reading the Hebrew. Right? When you're reading the Hebrew, you're not going to see these prepositions separate from the root words, right? Some of the words might look very long because you have prepositions, you have possessive words, right? At the beginning and at the end of the words, right? So again, this one is Bahadarak, which means in the way of Israel, right? Of is implied. All right, let's get to the next one. All right. And every Black, Hispanic, and Native American, they need a 1611 King James Bible. All right. That King James Bible is the best translated from Hebrew to the English. All right. Those scholars translated the Bible right from the Hebrew. And that's how we got that 1611 King James Version. All right, so we're going to try another one. Brock et al., I think this one will be an easy one for you. All right. We're going to translate this into the Hebrew. We got God of Abraham. All right. So how do you say God or Salakia, Brock et al.? What does God mean? All right. Because a lot of brothers, Salakia, a lot of brothers and sisters, when they see that word, they get caught up. For example, in the book of John, chapter 1, I think it's John 1:1, right? When it talks about in the word, or in the beginning was a word, and the word was God, right? And when a lot of Christians see that word God, they automatically think it's talking about the Most High, right? So, Salaki, Brock et al., what does that word God mean in the English?
Would be power or authority.
Khan. So this word God, if you were to look this up in the Hebrew, and you look in your concordance, you look up Strong's H430, they have this word God meaning, or in the Hebrew, all right? This is how it looks in the concordance. We have God, which is Strong's H430, and they have a la, a ha, a ya, and a ma, right? How they say that, in the modern Hebrew, they would pronounce it Elohim, right? And that if we translate this from the modern or the Assyrian Hebrew into the ancient Hebrew, the original Hebrew, the true Hebrew, right? You have a which is a you have a la, you have a ha, a ya, and a ma. Right? Now, Salaki Brake Allah. We just broke down that word kings earlier, right?
Kana Wakan.
Right? Which was Malak Yum, right? Right? We had Malak, meaning kings, which is the root word. And then we had Yum, which is masculine plural. All right? When you see that Yum, we got a masculine plural. So we see this word right here, which they say Elohim, right? We would say in the Hebrew Elohim, right? Just letting you know it's plural. And then we have a root word, right? That root word, which is Allah. Right? Or Allah, which as Baraki Allah said, it just means power or ruler or authority. Right? Or a judge. Now, for brothers and sisters to understand is that this word doesn't always mean that we're speaking about the Most High. Right? It can mean we're speaking about the Most High, but it doesn't always mean we're speaking about the Most High. This is just letting you know somebody who's in a high position. Right? Which is why Christ said to the Pharisees, the Sadducees and the Pharisees, ye are gods. It is written in your law that you are powers, because the nation of Israel was meant for rulership. Right? Every Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you are a god. You are a power, an authority on this earth. That's the position that we're meant to be in. All right? So that's what that word God means, right? It just means power or ruler. All right, so now let's translate this to the English. All right, we got the God of Abraham. All right, so Lucky, let me double check this this root word. All right, so Salakia, the root word of Alahayim, right? They would say in the Assyrian or the modern Hebrew, they would say El, right? And that's your power singular. All right. So let's break this down. So we got all, which is God, power, singular. And then we just got to look up this word, Abraham, right? Abraham. Barakiala, do you know how to say Abraham in the Hebrew?
Khan or Khan, Abaraham.
Abraham, Khan. Khan, Most High in Christ. Right? And this is why the connectors are so important. Because these connectors let us know how to pronounce what it is we're saying. Right? It's Abarah. And then the Ha and the Ma connect. All right. That's the name of our forefather Abraham, the forefather of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Abraham. All right. And then again, we got that word of, right? We don't need to put that preposition in there. Right? We understand who it is we're speaking about. All right. So we got the God of Abraham, the power of Abraham. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump out of the textbook. And we're just going to go over some common phrases we can say as we're speaking to brothers and sisters. All right. And let's have our Hebrew scholar, Barakia Allah. Let's have this brother break this down for us. All right. So we got, let's start off with the root words, right? Starting off with the root words is always a good place to start. How many root words do you see up here, Barakia Allah?
2.
Come on. Right? We got how and we got peace. All right. Do you know how to say how in the Hebrew?
Ayak.
Ayak. Is that an I or an ah?
It's a ah.
Ah. Come on. Most High in Christ. All right. We got ayak. Ayak means how. All right, that's how you say how in the Hebrew. Ayak. And then we got peace. How do you say peace in the Hebrew?
Shalom.
Shalom. All right. Shalom. All right. So now sometimes in the Hebrew, when you see this character wa, and they put this character before, or they put it in before the last character of a root word, right? So right here we got shalom, which is peace. If we were to put a wa in before the la and the ma, it would add, sometimes it would add the ing. That's how we would say that in English, right? So now there's some brothers out there, who are saying shalom, right? Shalom. And what those brothers are saying, they're saying peacing. All right? They're saying peacing. So if you were to say, Salakia Barakia Allah, we have a preposition up here, right?
Kanawakan.
How do you say your in the Hebrew?
It would be ka after shalom.
Khan. So Salakia, this would be a possessive, right? We got a possessive word. So we add the ka. All right. We have the ka at the end. If we were to say in Hebrew, ayak, Salakia, we would say ayak shalawamka. We would be saying, how is your peacing? All right, that doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. You're Black, Hispanic, or Native American and you want to learn Hebrew, you got to come to the right place to learn your language. All right? You got to come to the place to where the only men who are capable of leading this nation, all right, and that's in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General YAHANNA. All right, saying how is your peacing doesn't make any sense. The book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 1 and 5, it says to prove all things. All right, you got to study. You got to study. You got to ask questions. Right? A lot of us are coming out of the Christian church. In the Christian church, your pastor, he doesn't prove all things. He doesn't give you an explanation for what it is that he's doing and teaching. But that's what we do in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? We prove all things. We study. We say Khan one Khan. We take orders from the men above us. Wise men of understanding. All right? So this is an excellent job, Barakia Allah. Right? again, your studying is definitely showing, right? You're able to translate from English to the Hebrew. Right? We got I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM. All right? You can say this to brothers and sisters every day. Right? We got the Feast of Dedication coming up this Sunday. And you see brothers and sisters, you say I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM.
Khan.
Right? You say, how is your peace? A lot of brothers and sisters in the school, they know the salute, right? We can salute to brothers and sisters. We can say Tawab, Khan, La'ah, Thawada, right? We learn to be courteous. That's the first thing we do in the I.S.U.P.K. We learn how to be brotherly, right? How to wish brothers well. And this is a good sentence that you can also say to brothers and sisters, right? I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM. How is your peace? All right, let's break this down in the Hebrew. How many root words do we have up here?
2.
Khan. And what are those words?
Peace and good.
Khan. All right, so let's get these down first. How do you say peace in the Hebrew?
Shalom.
Shalom. And then how do you say good in the Hebrew?
Tawab.
Tawab. All right. So now we have a possessive word, right? And you see that word my, it's letting you know, who does this belong to? Who are we speaking about, right? It's possessive, right? So we want to say my peace, right? How do you say my in the Hebrew?
You put the ya at the end of shalom.
Khan. All right, so we had how is your peace, which was I.S.U.P.K. I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM. Right? Ka is your. Shalom. All right. Ask brothers and sisters. I.S.U.P.K, SHALAM. Right? How is your peace? If a brother and sister asks you that, you can respond. Right? Once you learn your possessives, your prepositions, right? You start learning root words, how to break these words down. Right? A lot of us, we already know. We know how to say good. Tawab. A lot of us know how to say peace. Shalom. Right? So you would say Shalom Yah. Right? Shalomia Tawab. All right. All right. So again, how is your peace? Ayak Shalomka. And you can respond, Shalomia Tawab. All right, my peace is good. All right. So that's it for translating from the English to the Hebrew. All right, that's it for that lesson. We got a little time left. So something we can do. We'll just go over a couple words, all right? Just build to our vocabulary. Always good to build to our vocabulary. We just keep adding in some words, all right? We get down more and more root words. And we can just keep getting better and better at speaking Hebrew, all right? All right, we got a couple new words. All right, we got March. March is Tazai. Turn is Sar. All right. Left is Shama'ah. We got right, which is Yam Yam. And then reverse is Hapak. All right.
write them out too, so we know how to pronounce it. All right. You got Tazaid, Sar, Shama'al, Yamyan, and Hapak, which is reverse. Hapak. All right, you're a brother in the school, you're definitely going to learn these words soon. These are words you need to know. All right, you take this truth seriously. All right, you want to learn to serve your people, be a soldier in this truth, a warrior in this truth. These are words you're going to learn, you're going to have to know. All right, good words to add to your vocabulary. All right, so one more time, we got March, which is Tazaid. Tazaid. Right? Again, in the Hebrew, we always read right to left. And then we have these connectors, which let us know how to pronounce each character. Right? Tazaid. And then we have turn, which is Sar. We have left, which is Shama'al. All right? Shama'al Sar is left turn. Yamyan Sar, that is right turn. All right? Right is Yamyan. And then we have reverse, which is Hapak. All right. Brocky Allah, let me know when you got these down, all right?
Toa Barawan.
Come. All right, so we left off at Hapak, which is reverse. It's better if I write it up this way. We got ready. All right. Let's go with these. We got ready. We have halt or stop. We got forward, back, fall on him, and stand down. All right. This word ready in the Hebrew is ha-kayan. Ha-kayan. Halt is I to Zar. Forward is La Panyam. Back is Akawar. All right, fall on him is Pagaibawan. Pagaibawan. All right, and stand down is Imad Mata. Imad Mata. All right. In our culture, taking orders, following instructions is everything. All right. We got to have the ability as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to follow instructions, right? These are very good words to practice, right? Practice, study to show thyself approved, right? Rehearse righteous acts, practice, practice, practice. This is how we pick up our language, right? Let's spell these out in the Hebrew. We have Hakayan is Ha, a Ka, a Ya, and a Na. All right, Hakayan. We have I to Zar. We have Lapanyam. Kawar. We have Pagaibawa. Right? Your brother in this school and you hear Pagaibawa, this means business. All right, Pagai Bawa. And then stand down. This is two words. All right. Imad. Imad Mata. All right, Salakia for the room, the space, running out of space a little. All right, Barakia Allah, can you see this okay at the bottom?
Canada Wakan.
All right, Most High in Christ. So going over the words we just did, we have March, which is Taza Eid, turn, is Sar in the Hebrew. We got left, which is Shama'al. And Shama'al Sar is left turn. Yam Sar is right turn. Hapak is reverse. Hakayan, right? We got up here. Hakayan is ready. Tazar means to stop or to halt. La Panyam, which means forward. We have Kawar, which is back. Pagai Bawa, which means fall on him. And then stand down is Imad Mata. All right, Rocky Allah, you got all that written down?
Khan or Khan.
Come, we'll sign Chris. All right, the last word that we can add, the last word we'll go over is post. All right, I think that's in the book of Timothy, where we were ordered from the disciples of Christ, right, to be good soldiers and to hold our post. Mada. Mada. All right. Let's read through that verse and then we'll end the class. All right. I think that's in the book of 1 Timothy. All right, 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Christ." Salakia. That's the one I'm thinking. There's no sweat. We'll end here. So 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3, it says, "Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ." Right? This is our jobs as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? Everybody on earth says they follow Christ, they love Christ, they have a personal relationship with Christ. Right? But nobody wants to do what he says to do. Right? Christ ordered us to be good soldiers, to endure hardness. Right? And that's what we got to do in this truth. All right, so with that, we're going to end Friday's night Lashawan Kodash class. Let's clap it up. All right. Before you leave, make sure you hit those sign out links. All right. I'll get them up in the chat in 1 minute. Right. As soon as we go through these security announcements, I'll get them up in the chat. All right. So these are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. You can read about that in Numbers 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. This Sunday we have the Feast of Dedication, also known as Hanukkah in the Hebrew, which is for a space of 8 days. It is this Sunday, November the 28th. You can read about it in the book of 1 Maccabees chapter 4. 1 Maccabees 4, chapter 4, verses 52 to verse 61. With that said, men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M, which means stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M Shabbat, I.M.A.J.M, Barak, Yahweh Shimei Ashai Barak Yad Yamatah, Sarah Akwathim, which means turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M Shabbat, I.M.A.J.M, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathan Bashimei Ashai, Yad Yamatah, which means hands down, class dismissed.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I want payback for the scars in the slave memoirs. Till Christ arrive, I can't let it slide. Ignore the lies. The only free will that's before your eyes is life or death, nigga, you decide. This heaven was made for me and my fellow. I patiently wait with my eyes on the sparrow, and I pull the trigger while my lips kiss the barrel. Before I ever let a white bitch do me like Othello. I want out this wicked life like Romello. By any means, this devil pulling strings like Geppetto. Lay hold on this brotherhood. I swear I never let go. And fuck that silver spoon. Got too much love for the ghetto. Till the score settle with me, I die for the cause. Just to hear them angels applaud. And I'm true about every word I say. Cause I know my victory on the way. Opponent, nigga, walk this way. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with the angels. This life may be hard, but I can't give up. On my nigga hard, and I won't give up. Could you tell me about this God that you feel so much? And why you look so good? It's real, I be walking with the angels. Boy, I can't be touched. Came through in the clutch. They hate but they can't doubt us. We princes of the proud, but what you know about us? Evil all around us. But a nigga straight, I told you I can't be touched. Only angels walk at my pace. I'm grateful for the words that had me delivered.